I'm not going to dance, so stop. You can stop clapping. Not here. I need something with a little bit more. You got it. Just real quick, thank you to Vaughn, Brandis, and Juan for allowing us to get a sneak peek into their lives and being vulnerable. Give them one round of applause. Go ahead. It takes a lot to come up here. And not only does it take a lot to come up here, but to be vulnerable to say a story like that is huge. Today, what I want to do is I want to tell you my story. And I want to take a page out of Brandis's story where she talked about your superpower. We have to be able to do a superpower, what I call, of wearing a hat. How do we become the hashtag intentional? It all started one day after a stressful day at work. And you've had these days. The days where 4 out of your 6 staff call in sick at the last minute. Yeah, you guys agreed with that way too much. The kind where it's parent-teacher conferences and you're not allowed to use your classrooms, the library, the multi-purpose room. And like any person off the street's like, what the heck are they doing in this after-school program? Because kids are just running around. It was one of those days. So after a hectic day, I drive all the way home, I put the car into the garage, and I walk to the door of the garage that goes into my home. And as I go for the doorknob, I can hear what sounds to be like Demolition Derby from my 4- and 5-year-old son, Levi and Lincoln. Meow. All while in the background, I can hear a stressed out wife preparing dinner on the phone with her mother, who's supposed to visit in 2 weeks. Yes, Mom. I know, Mom. I know. Yes, I'll get it done. Don't worry about it. Gotta love those mother-in-laws. I love her to death, believe me. So I'm thinking to myself, do I really want to go into this house right now after a chaotic day and go into this chaotic home? So I did what any man would do. I reached for my phone, texted my wife that I was going to work late, and I got back in the car and I took off. No. I'm just kidding. I'm so kidding. I did what any father would do, and I regulated. I went inside and I said, hey, what is Mom doing right now? On the phone? With who? Grandma? Okay, so what do we need to do? Quiet. They can't say quiet. Quiet. And I go, and what did I tell you before I left? What was going to happen with all these toys? Put them away, and did you put them away? No. So let's put this away and get washed up for dinner. Hey, baby, when's dinner going to be ready? 15 minutes? Okay, I'll get the boys washed up for dinner, and I'll take care of this mess. Later that night, I tuck my boys into bed, read them a story, and I pray with them before we go to bed. It's just a tradition in my home. And little did I know, my son was going to teach me the biggest lesson in leadership I would ever know. As I'm tucking him into bed, he goes, Dad? I said, yes. He says, can I ask you a question? And I said, are you stalling or are you really going to ask me a question? And so he goes, are you a boss? And I said, yes, Daddy's a boss at work. And then he says, are you the boss of me and Lincoln? I said, Levi, go to bed. Dad? Levi? He says, is Mommy a boss at work? And I said, yes, Mommy's a boss at work. Dad, Levi, go to bed. One more question, I promise. What? Is Mommy the boss of you? Boy, if you don't go to bed right now, the boogeyman's gonna come out because I'm his friend, and he gonna get you. I said, listen, when Mommy and Daddy made a covenant together, we promised that we would be bosses together. So as I started to leave, he goes, I knew he was a boss. And I said, time out, what does that mean? And here's what the lesson comes in. He says, if you're a boss at work and you tell people what to do, then as soon as you come home, you tell us what to do, so you must be a boss to us. See, I don't know if you caught it, my own son, my own flesh and blood, sees his father as a boss and not as his daddy. I said, no, mijo. And I knelt by his side and I said, listen, daddy's your dad. I'm here to teach you to run, to throw, to be a great big brother, to be a helper, to be a voice for the voiceless and stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves. I said, daddy's your dad, not your boss. And here's the lesson that he taught me that day is when we wear the wrong hat, it adds frustration. But when we wear the right hat, it brings transformation. See, we wear the same hat every single day in every single situation of our life. We go to work with the manager, CEO, the boss, the staff hat, and then we go back home and we give our work the best, but we go back to our families and we give them the rest. Sit on that for a little bit. So what we have to do is we have to become intentional. See, because here's the deal. We wear the hat of a boss and we go into a conversation when we really should be wearing the hat of someone who is understanding and listening. We go into a disciplined conversation with a student already with a judge and jury hat on when we need to be wearing a hat of understanding. So how can I wear the right hat? Let me break this down for you. H, how do we handle what we hear? Bro, they're 4 and 5 years old. Let them play. How do I handle what I hear? My wife is stressed out. How do I come and help her out? A, how do I give attention with the right attitude? How come I can't slide on the floor and be like, which car am I? How do I give attention with the right attitude? Babe, give me the phone. Hey, Francis, how you doing? Hey, I'm excited to see you next week. Hey, listen, we're about to have dinner right now and it's getting cold, so we'll talk to you later. Bye. How do I grab my wife's face, tell her I love you and I support you, give her a kiss on the forehead and say, I'll take care of dinner. I got the dishes, I got the kids, go relax. So that, how do I T? Transform the temperature. John Maxwell teaches us not to be a thermometer, but to be a thermostat. A thermometer tells us how warm or how cold it is, but a thermostat changes the temperature. So how do I go into a situation with a staff or a student who's afraid that they're going to get written up or take a call home? How do I wear the right hat to give them support and care and empathy? See, if we can wear the right hat, that's what we need to do. But we have to be intentional. Because when gaps are not filled with intention, then by default, it will place us in tension. Oh, I am, baby, I am. I am. This is what I come to do. Because this is what we need to do. We have to be intentional. Why have all that tension on your shoulders when you can be intentional? So let me ask you this question. Which hat are you willing to wear? You have to think, before I go into this conference room, before I go into this bedroom, before I go into this meeting, what hat do I need to wear? And if you just take 5 seconds to take a deep breath and think, who do they need me to be? Who do they need me to be? This is the last thing that I will tell you, and I want you to catch this. In your schools, in your work, in your home, anyone could have gone to any other staff, any other boss, any other teacher, but they came to you. I believe that things don't happen on accident, but they happen on purpose with a purpose for you. So, before I go, I want to leave you with, understand when that person stands before you, that you all are the perfect person for their imperfect situation. And I want you to actually understand that and feel it. So I need everybody to grab a fist or your shirt or something and say and repeat after me, I am the perfect person for someone's imperfect situation. Now go be, because you belong.